Do you love stringy necklaces but don't like ugly crimp beads? Hi, my name's Carol. Welcome to my channel where I show you how easy jewellery making can really be. Today I'm going to show you a way to finish your necklaces that will make them look really professional. What I'm going to show you is how to use a Bead Bandit. So what I have here is a Bead Bandit, and you can see that it looks like a tube and it has a loop on one end. Now when you unscrew the Bead Bandit, the bottom, you can unscrew the bottom. So what that does is you thread your tiger tail up through the screw here and you hide your crimp bead inside the tube. So I'm actually going to string up this necklace and I'm going to show you how I attach my, my Bead Bandit. Now if you would like to make this necklace, what you will need is 3 of these 13mm silver filigree beads, the gold filigree beads, sorry, 4 of these 14mm Indian glass beads and 16 of these 8mm smooth round glass beads. You'll also need 54 3mm gold balls, and I have here 24 of these little beaded rondelles. I've got 2 4mm jump rings and 2 crimp beads. I also have a hook clasp and a 6mm jump ring. I have 2 bead bandits and some tiger tail. I'm also going to be using 2 pairs of chain nose pliers and a pair of flush cutters, although you could get away with scissors if you didn't have flush cutters. Okay. So let's get started and we will string up this necklace and I'll show you how they work. So I'm first going to get a piece of tiger tail. Now I've got about here about 40 centimeters, and I'm going to put my Bead Bandit on one end first. So I'm going to thread on a crimp bead first, and remember, I'll just pop that out of the way for a minute. When you put on a crimp bead, the best way to do it is put it down on your mat and kind of fish for it with the end of your tiger tail rather than trying to feed it on. Now I'm taking my pliers and I'm going to squeeze it onto my tiger tail, just like that. And now I'm going to trim off the end. So that's what I have. Now I'm going to take the other end. I'm going to take my Bead Bandit, oops, and I'm going to take the screw part, and I'm going to thread through the top and out the bottom. So there's my tail, like that. And I'm going to run that all the way to the end where my crimp bead is. Now I'm going to take the other part of my Bead Bandit and I'm going to screw it on. And that's what it looks like. And you can see that's a really lovely professional finish to your necklace. And everything is hidden away. I love it. Okay, so now I'm going to string this necklace, all the beads on, and I will speed up the camera so that you don't have to watch me painfully thread the beads, and I'll come back when that's done. I've got my first run of my 27 3mm balls on here, but I realized I didn't talk to you about the pattern at all, so I should probably do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread on 1 beaded rondelle between each of my beads, and the basic pattern is 2 beads, 2 of the 8mm beads, 1 of the larger ones, and then I just alternated the red ones and the gold ones, so it's a pretty easy pattern. So I've got my first beaded rondelle on, and now I'm putting my 8mm and another beaded rondelle on. Now I have all of my beads on, what I'm going to do is put my Bead Bandit on the other end. So the first thing I need to do obviously is unscrew my bandit. And I'm just going to thread it on from the bottom end, not the screw end, onto my tiger tail and run it right down close to the beads. Now I'm going to put my crimp bead on. I'll just show you that. That's what it looks like now. I'll put my crimp bead on, and also I'm running that right down as close as I can to that screw. Now I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to give the crimp bead a squeeze, just like I did before, and now I'm going to trim off that excess. So that's what it looks like now. Now I'm going to pop on my other end and screw it tight, screw it up. So there you go. So there's both ends. Don't they look lovely? Much nicer than a crimp bead and a crimp cover. So to finish this necklace, I'm going to put on some jump rings and my clasp. So to attach my clasp, I'm going to use the 4mm jump rings, and then I'm going to use this 6mm as the end of the clasp. So I'm taking my chain nose pliers and I'm going to open up my jump rings. Now, if you haven't done this before, I will leave a link in the description box below and a card up here for the video on how to, all about jump rings. Alright, so to open them, you basically hold them with your pliers on either side and twist. Now I'm going to pop on that onto the Bead Bandit, and I'm going to pop on my clasp hook clasp as well, and just using my pliers to close that up, basically reversing that process. Whoops. Not quite closed, so I need to just give it a bit more of a wiggle. It's quite tight in there, so it is a little bit more challenging when there's heaps of stuff inside your jump ring. So there's my clasp on there, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the other side, attaching this 6mm jump ring. And putting on my 6mm one as well. Whoops, I knocked it off in the process. That happens sometimes. Right. And closing my little 4mm jump ring there. Okay, so that's what I have on this end. And all that's left to do is close it up. So there you can see my hook clasp with the bead bandits on either side, and that is a lovely way to close a necklace rather than having a crimp bead and a crimp cover. It just looks really professional. Isn't that a wonderful professional looking way to finish a necklace? Much nicer than just a crimp bead. If you enjoyed this little tutorial on how to use the Bead Bandit, it would be wonderful if you could subscribe to my channel and like the video, and of course ring the bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload new content. That way I can continue to bring you nice little easy jewellery making projects. Today I'm wearing my little dragonfly earrings, and if you're interested in making these, I will leave a link in the description box below, along with links to everything you need to make this necklace. And if you would like a tutorial for this necklace that I'm wearing, I haven't done one yet, but if you would like me to do one, let me know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching and have a fantastic day.